I do not watch other people's reviews. Dot, dot, dot. Prior to publishing my own reviews. There is a very specific reason for that. I am concerned that watching somebody else's reviews will allow their opinions to impact my conclusions about the gear that I am covering. There is one instance where I will go out and watch videos and reviews and read reviews prior to publishing my own, and that's when I encounter an issue that seems so bad that it must be a faulty unit, and I want to verify if I am covering a faulty unit because I can't review that, or if this is actually an issue with the product that needs to be explored, discussed, and shared with everybody. So that is why I want to talk about this, because this last week I had a bit of a crisis. You are freaking out, man, and I was freaking out, man. If you're a Podcastage member and you're a part of the Discord, you will know I was freaking out because I just wrote walls of text. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Am I hearing things? No way. Nobody else is talking about this except for we must be losing our minds. I was second guessing myself like crazy. And that is the issue. If I watch other people's videos, I know that it has the potential to influence my conclusions about it. And even when I go in knowing to avoid that, it still almost leads to me, it doesn't almost lead to me doing something. It just makes me second guess myself and need to be even more thorough. I'm not going to mention the review that I'm talking about because I want this to be a bit more timeless, but the last review that I made was kinda negative. It had a pretty glaring issue in my opinion. So I wanted to go out and make sure this wasn't just an issue with the microphone that I was reviewing. So I watched maybe 7, 8 reviews of it, 8 demo videos of it. All of them were overwhelmingly positive, and none of them shared the issue that I was experiencing. None of them said, hey, here is the problem, except for one. And I want to give that channel props because good for you for doing your job as a reviewer. It was Danny Lightning. Good on you, Danny, for saying, hey, here's a problem. I don't like that. It's not good. It's a USB mic. The USB port should sound good. He's the only other person who did that. And that made me second guess myself. That made me think I was losing my mind, that I was hearing things, that I was being overly critical, that I was making some kind of mistake in how I was recording everything. So to verify, I made sure I had all of my recording settings proper. I had the same bit rate, the same bit depth sample rate. I recorded in Audio Hijack. I recorded in Logic. I recorded directly in the equipment manufacturer's recording software. If it doesn't work there, then I'm obviously not doing anything wrong. I tried recording on Mac, on Windows, and all the other USB mics that I compared it against did not exhibit the same issue. So that tells me my recording settings, all of that, were not goofed up. It was something with this microphone. But still, I was second guessing myself. I must be doing something wrong because 2 of us have mentioned this. Every other video out there is overwhelmingly positive. Every other video ignores this. They don't mention it. We must be losing our minds. We must have received faulty units, even though I heard in other people's videos that this was an issue as well. We must be losing our minds. So I overnighted another microphone just to verify the same issue persisted on multiple units. And only then was I okay publishing that video. That is exactly why I do not watch other people's reviews, because it would be so easy, especially if you're new to reviewing, especially if you're not an expert in the field that you are covering. It would be very easy to look at other channels that have huge subscriber numbers and see they didn't mention this. Must not be a problem. I guess I won't mention it. Guess I won't discuss that because they're the experts. So I think that is the issue with reviewers watching and consuming other people's reviews prior to them publishing their own. I think it would be good if reviewers ignored other people's coverage prior to making their own reviews. Maybe not prior to publishing them, but do all your testing, do all your demos, do all your conclusions, and then prior to publishing your own, go check other people's reviews and see if there's anything that you missed, see if your opinion stands out, but don't alter it unless there is something that you actually missed, some kind of mistake that you made. So that is my advice. I try not to watch other reviews prior to making my own. What I have done is what I recommend other people do. Instead of relying on other people's reviews, develop your own set of tests, develop your own set of criteria that you judge equipment on, and once you have done all of that, develop your own conclusions based on your own experience, and then make your review based on that. Then sure, go out and check other people's reviews, but you should have your own opinion, your own set of criteria, and your own tests that you are able to do in order to determine what your thoughts are on that gear prior to watching anybody else's. Other people's opinions should not impact your review. The last thing that I want to say here is I don't necessarily think all of the reviews of the microphone that were positive, were nefarious. I don't think those reviewers are bad actors. Reviewers miss stuff. Reviewers have different use cases. They don't test every single feature because certain features may fall out of their expertise, out of their typical use case. So I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just assume they did not do a test that allowed them to hear the differences that I heard, the differences that Danny heard. So I will not say any of them were bad actors, but I just wanted to get this off of my chest because it sucks. I want to reiterate that making negative reviews is the worst part of what I do because I hate crapping on companies because it's not just some faceless entity. There are people who work there, people who develop these products, who put their heart and soul into it. And when you put out a negative review, I know this sounds snowflakey, it hurts people's feelings. And that sucks. I don't like hurting people's feelings. That's one of the worst feelings. I'm talking about feelings a lot today. Feelings. What is that from? I don't know. But I hate that. Especially if it's from a company that you know, trust, and whose gear you rely on and have relied on for years. That's not a fun thing to do. I hate making negative reviews, but as I have pointed out multiple times on this podcast, my boss, my obligation is to the end consumer who is researching gear as opposed to the company who is making the gear. So my obligation is to be as truthful and honest and informative for that end consumer as opposed to making sure company X, Y, or Z looks good and meets some kind of sales quota. So although I hate that part of what I do, that's really the most essential part of what I do, the negative reviews, because that's going to be the review video that will save people money. But whenever I do a negative review, I am always second guess. I am double, triple, quadruple checking stuff now. I hate it. I don't get more nervous than when I am doing a negative review because I have double, triple checked after I publish the video. Am I sure? I know I checked this prior to publishing it, but I just need to make sure again. Did I screw up my recording settings? Did I screw it up somehow? Did I connect it to a wrong port? Is that a possibility? Did I screw it? Is this all an error on my part? Or is it actually this is after I published the damn thing, and I am still second guessing myself because negative reviews are just they're terrible. Important, but terrible. Okay. That is it for my rant and my neuroticism. I guess I am neurotic. Who, me? No, I'm not neurotic. I don't get in my head and think too much.